Hi guys, and welcome back to Wandering Wild. So today for Wild Wednesday, we're going to talk about the caracal. Now, the caracal is a cat that most people probably haven't heard of unless they're from Africa, India, China, Asia, Pakistan, because it's kind of a secretive cat. But unless it has cultural significance, a lot of people have never heard of it. The word caracal is derived from the Turkish word karakulak, which means black ear, which is obviously referring to those distinctive ear tufts. At one time, the caracal was used for hunting in India and Pakistan. This particular cat is often referred to as the desert lynx. Now, they're called the desert lynx due to basically just its ear tufts and the fact that it lives in more desert-like climates. However, this cat does not have any characteristics of the lynx family, which would include things such as a ruff of hair around the face and a really thick, longer coat of hair. Instead, the caracal actually has short hair that actually more resembles a mountain lion in the U.S. But it does have black ear tufts, which sometimes is where it gets that similarity to the lynx. Now, as far as being called the desert lynx, this is because of the habitat that the caracal is most likely found in. This is mostly in savannas and shrublands. Sometimes they'll get into some evergreen mountainous areas, but you're not ever going to find them in like a tropical rainforest. Now, when caracals reproduce, they produce a litter of about 1 to 4 kittens, and their gestation period is approximately 70 to 80 days. So unlike some animals, caracals actually begin to open their eyes on the first day of life. However, they won't be completely open and able to see till about 6 to 10 days later. At about 10 weeks old, they are weaned, which means they can eat food that does not come from their mother, but they will remain with their mother for up to a year. Caracals become sexually mature between 12 and 16 months of age and have been known to live up to 19 years old in the wild. Now, usually caracals are solitary animals, and their social interaction is basically limited to times of mating, which is pretty much the norm for most cat species, aside from lions and things of the like that have like a pride or a pack system. Now, a caracal is one of the lesser cats. There are two groups of cats. So there are the greater cats and the lesser cats. Your house cat is a lesser cat. The lion, the tiger, the jaguar, those are greater cats. One big difference between the two, and a good way to kind of tell what you're looking at, is that greater cats can roar, but they can't purr. Whereas lesser cats can purr, but they can't roar. So cougar, caracal, lynx, those are all lesser cats. It's a good way to look at the two. Now, caracals prey on a lot of things, but mostly a lot of small mammals, such as rodents and hares and hyraxes, and occasionally small antelope. But unlike most African cats, a caracal will not hesitate to kill prey that is actually larger than itself, because it does have all the things that would help it take that prey down: the strength, the dexterity, and the teeth and the claws. Now, something that's actually kind of cool about caracals is like leopards, they have sometimes been reported to actually store their kill in the trees to keep it away from some other animals that may want to scavenge it. Now, caracals in general are mostly a nocturnal species, meaning that they're mostly out and about at night. However, sometimes they have been seen during the day, but this nocturnal existence kind of adds to the fact that they are rarely seen, but they're also quite solitary and reclusive, so those are other reasons why we don't see a lot of them in the wild. The caracal is not currently endangered or threatened. The biggest threats to it potentially is going to be humans, and that's mostly for things like livestock predation. And the reason that is because as we come into their natural habitat, we're actually creating more areas for farmland and for livestock, and so they lose the food that they would find in their normal environment, and so they go to the next best thing, which is our livestock, which seemingly enough we don't want eaten by a cat. So that's going to be their biggest threat, and in some areas it's actually a very big problem, but overall the caracals are doing just fine. Now let's talk about the cultural significance of the caracal, because it's actually quite important. So the caracal was actually seen as religiously sacred to the ancient Egyptians. It's found in paintings and bronze figures, and it was even seen guarding the tombs of many pharaohs. They were even so important that some caracals were embalmed and buried with very important Egyptian figures, not even just pharaohs, but rich, more higher up class members as well. The ear tufts of the caracals actually hold main significance here in the Egyptian culture, in that they were often called Rishat, which basically means mother of feathers. Now, it wasn't just the Egyptians that really loved the caracals. Chinese emperors used to give caracals as gifts and would actually purchase them along with cheetahs from Muslim traders. In India, they were used to hunt along with cheetahs for larger game. And often caracals were put in arenas with pigeons or other flying birds, and bets would be placed on how many of the birds the caracal could catch in a certain amount of time. So they were used for a betting game. And there's actually a saying that comes from this. Now, I had never heard this saying until I did a little bit of research for this video, but it's kind of funny, but it's basically, the saying is to put the cat among the pigeons. The caracal is a very beautiful cat. You can see it here with those beautiful ear tufts, that long brown coat, and just the distinctive facial markings that make it stand out. It's an animal that I didn't know much about until recently, which is kind of cool because I love learning about new animals, so I thought I would share the caracal with you today. Now, fun fact, I looked up how to say caracal. I still probably might have said it wrong like several times in this video, so I apologize. I think the correct way to say it is caracal, but I keep wanting to say caracal, but I really don't know. So now that I've confused you thoroughly on how to say that name, I'm going to send you on your merry way. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and learning all about the caracal. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, put them down in the comments below and I'll thumbs it up, add a comment to what you have to say. My sources are going to be found in the description box below. And as always, stay wild and never stop wondering.